Why are men not approaching women in the church? Girl, we about to find out. We about to find out. Like, we about to find out today. Like, the Inside Out Singles is about to tell us, the men's edition, they're about to give us the tease as to why men don't approach women in the church.
Attractive, black, Christian women unmarried. That's the question that bothers me the most. It was not negative so long. I go into church and see so many straight up fine. So
the black church's focus is not on building families. It's about keeping women single, comfortable, independent. I said what I said. Just look at the numbers. The church is 70 to 80% single women. And the pastor want to sell these women this fairy tale, telling them that your Boaz is coming. Keep waiting, knowing good and well that there isn't any single men in the congregation. And that's low-key manipulation. Because the men aren't flocking to the churches because the churches are catered to women. The sermons shame men and pamper women. The programs be women brunches, women conferences, women's night. The churches know who paid the tithes. It's the women. So they selling the women these dreams while cashing their checks. You gotta ask yourself, if the church is really about family, why is it full of single mothers, single women, and empty of men? Because the black church needs the women single, desperate, and waiting. Because if you had the family that you prayed for, then they wouldn't be able to.
Single Christian women will stay single because of the black churches. Proverbs 31:30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, single honors to the elect, and peace and blessings to the 1/3, which mainly consists of women and children. Now, looking at the scenario, looking at the situation, the church has pretty much been turned into a scam, a scheme, whatever you want to call it. Notice, these churches today, they have 501c3 charters. That's a tax write-off from the government. So if your school, say for instance, getting funded by the government, you're going to have certain textbooks and certain curriculums and agendas that they're going to want you to push. Same thing with the churches. If you're getting tax write-offs from the government, there are certain curriculums and agendas they want you to push. Like in these churches, they always talk about prosperity, but no one's speaking about prophecy. They're always saying God is all love, but they never speak about what God hates, in a sense, And the women flock to the church because the churches are full of lies. I'm not talking about all churches. What I mean by lies. How can you sit in the congregation as a single mother proudly? They used to be shunned upon. They find out you was pregnant and you wasn't married, or you didn't know who the father was or where he was at. That was frowned upon. Now you got women that have multiple kids by themselves, single, proud in church. You have women. I mean, literally, these women are built like they're built like the Incredibles' mom, Miss Elastic, whatever her name is, and they're wearing skin tight dresses. Like, they have Coke bottle shapes. They're busty. These are voluptuous women, and they're in the church wearing these dresses. Some are even in the congregation teaching, which the Lord said He suffered not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. And if a woman is to teach, she is to teach the children. And then when the boy becomes of age, he goes off to the father. And then that woman still becomes like a sheik, or a prophetess to the remaining women, younger women, other women. And besides, the Lord not inside these churches anyway. It's a lot of scams and I think it was a preacher up in New York or something. He got jail time for like getting like 80 grand or 100,000 something from his church. And then he had him wearing all this bling glistening. Hell, I think one time he got robbed in the service or something like that. Yeah, this is what's going on. This is exactly what's going on. You know, I know a Jake at my job, man. He literally was out there like doing it in the streets, man. He told me, I mean, shooting at his cousins and everything, selling drugs to his cousins and everything, out of his mama them house and everything, you know. And he said he found God. He changed. He's a changed man. People like him, I truly believe they really changed. You know what I'm saying? They read the Bible. They had a better understanding. Like, this ain't the life I need to be living. People like him, I truly believe. This man has a church. And he just showed me a picture last week. They bought him and his wife like a Cadillac Escalade, paid off and everything. Like, it's people like him in the churches. They have a zeal, but it's really not according to knowledge. What do I mean by that? Because he preaches what most churches preach. God loves you. God loves everybody. Stuff like that, you know. So I'm not saying he's scamming or scheming at all. No, none whatsoever. He truly believes it, but it's not according to knowledge. Now, let alone these women inside these churches. This is Acts chapter 7, verse 48 through 50. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? Have not my hand made all these things? Why do you think all that stuff happens inside those churches? The Lord said he don't dwell in temples made with hands. A man had to make those buildings. Right? The Lord said, I made all these things. Why would I? So the only reason why the temple was made to the Lord by Solomon was for sacrifices. For the priests to go into the Holy of Holies. If I'm not mistaken, to where the Ark of the Covenant was positioned at. But this is 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building. We are God's building. So that's why all of that evil and all that negative energy inside all these churches, because the Lord is not in there. The Lord is within you. That's why when the Lord says in the Bible, when two or more are gathered in my name, YAHAWAH and YAHAWASHI, I am in the midst of thee. So where is church? Church is when you gather. You have to go into the word church to get a better understanding of what it means. It means to call out. The word church, I think, is Ecclesiastes. It literally means to call out. So church means to call out. If you're in a building with the door shut and the window shut, how can you call out to the people? You have to go out to the people. Or how the Lord said, go to the highways and byways and bid into the marriage. So I'm just speaking on that really quick, to give you the emphasis on why all this stuff can happen in these churches, because the Lord is not inside these churches. And also, the reason why a lot of these women continue to go to church, because church tell them lies. They tell them lies. Church won't tell them that you should be in subjection to your husband. Church won't tell them that you're supposed to help me to your husband. Why they don't tell the women that? Because the men have left the churches. Majority, if they are men, there is probably young men being drugged by their mother or they, older siblings or older, relatives, or they probably got a catsuit underneath they gown when they're in the choir. But it's because the church know who's their bread and butter, women. Not just the church, society, especially our women. Society want women to stay single because it's more profit. People, use your heads. If John lives in apartment A and Brittany lives in apartment B, let's say the rent is $1,200 each. That's $2,400 a month that condominium, that company, whatever, the housing place, the realtor is gonna get. But if they decide to come together to join forces, that's an extra $1,200 cut out. And then rather her buying individual items for her place or his place, vice versa, more than likely a woman moving in with the man, they will buy items for their place. You see? Another reason why church keep women in there, because they love the lies. They love the fictitious stories. And besides, that's their bread and butter. Where you think all their money coming from? If the man not going to church, who's giving them all the money? The women. Nonetheless, though, Proverbs 31 and 10 through 15 and verse 30. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good, and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. They sound like a woman is bringing something to the table. Willingly, right? She is like the merchant ship. She bringeth her food from afar. Don't you put food on the table? She bringeth something to the table. A virtuous woman. Oh, I get it. Y'all bad bitches. I'm sorry. Verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. Proverbs 31 and 30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Beautiful people, they always favored, and at times they can use it for deceit. But women, this is one thing you have to understand. Mother Nature gives you your gift. Father Time takes it away. What is your gift? Youth, fertility, being chaste, and your beauty. Guess who takes that away? Father Time. Your beauty will fade. Chaste, more than likely you've already had a couple men, or a handful, or more, right? Fertility, well, your best years are your younger years, when you hit. I'm just gonna say this scientifically, when you hit puberty. But most young men and young women during that time, they're not fully developed mentally, which is why they say you to wait to 18. But most girls are already having sex at 14, 15 already. Young men too. And also your youthfulness will fade away. Understand? And then you're just gonna become a shell of what? Nothingness, emptiness. Because let's be honest, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of attractive women, they never had to develop a personality because everything was handed to them in life. It's kind of like that guy, in the group. He's not the best looking guy, but man, his confidence is on 9,000. He's like, yo, how you got her? I went up there and just talked to him. It's guys that just have it like that. It's some guys that have that charisma. Some guy that can they can sell water to a well. I try. But women who are just beautiful, they don't have to worry about that. So as they go through their whole life sleeping and dealing with the men that they want to, as they get older, they start to realize the options start to dwindle, and then they start to ask, where are all the good men? What are you talking about? You already shooed them away, or they're either married now, right? Or they said, to hell with it, MGTOW. Remember, the church has our women, the prisons have our men, and the schools have our children. They need our women to stay single so they can make a profit. And they need our women to stay single because without the father there to lead the family, who's leading that woman? Yeah? Big brother, Uncle Sam, pastor at the church, right? But anyhow, with that being said, I'm going to end out with this. Sirach 26:13 through 15. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. Listen here. A silent and loving woman is a gift. So you loudmouth ratchet women, you're a curse. You're a curse. I gotta read it again. Not Proverbs. Sirach 26 and 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. A gift is something that's earned. And I think I earned mine. Anyhow, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A mind well instructed. What does that mean? A woman who was raised to be a woman at that. Yeah. Come on, man. Like, I mean, it's not like she needs to, but she know how to make clothes and stuff, man. She can make clothes, quilts, all that. Know how to make natural remedy. They make natural remedies. They make their own breads. They make their own oils. Her sister write books. Her older sister write books and stuff. I call her older sister Wonder Woman. She's like magnificent. There are women out there who they're out there, y'all. You know, like her mother had 8 kids from the same man. 4 boys, 4 girls. My East, the youngest out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's possible. It's possible. But the Lord said those type of women are a gift. And I'm not talking about like I'm sitting there and she just quiet, mute, got a tape around her mouth. Nah, man, we be talking, giggling, laughing, having a good time. Like, that's my friend, you know, at the end of the day. But I always would get her thoughts on situations, but I always come out at the end with the final say so. Because if it goes good, you won't hear nothing from nobody. When it goes bad, first thing they got to ask is what happened. And they're looking at me, not her. That's why men are supposed to lead. That's why. You're supposed to be the first line of defense. You're supposed to take the blunt of the force, not you. I want my woman standing by my side or behind me so that if danger does ensue, she ain't got to jump in front of her. That's why. That's why. But anyhow, Sirach 26:15, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Man, not lying. Hey, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of beautiful women in this world. A lot of beautiful women in this world. Man, don't know woman make me feel like my E make me feel, because the intangibles. She's beautiful as well. Everything I could ever want a woman. But I really think it's God sent. And like I say, man, it also goes back to who you are, what you done in your life. I never forget the time a woman that had to do and everything. She drove all the way down here to Florida from Georgia to come see me. I told her we're not doing anything. I don't even know why I wanted her to come, but I said we're not doing anything. This lady came out of the bathroom with red negligee. And all we did was spoon. I feel like that's why I got my E to this day, because I didn't sleep with that woman. And every time a woman says she has a man or dealing with somebody, I'm out of there. I'm gone. Because I'd be down. I'd be like, man, I hate to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing his woman out here just getting dug out and all that, slid across the bed. Nah, that's crazy. I feel like that's why I had a woman I had today. So remember, what you do in the past will always follow you into your future too. So ladies, in your early 20s, what you do in your past will also follow you to your future. So with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edifying, fair, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwame Sha'Allah, Maflaba Ball, Shalom.